All right, welcome back. I'm not sure how this is going to go. I had a session recorded earlier that I'm not sure. It's definitely user error. It was something on my end. It was also a terrible session, so I'm not sure this is going to go any better. But at least my technical mistakes might save you from kind of a wasted viewing. But anyway, welcome back to, this is Black Lodge Trivia Night. I'm doing a Let's Play of Demon's Souls, the remake on the PlayStation 5. In the last session, if I can recover it, I'll try and recover it. My fear is I'm going to be able to get the picture, but I won't be able to get the audio for some reason. It's on me because I was, trying to. I have AverMedia for my capture card. I was trying to use OBS instead because I think I was using AverMedia software recently, and for some reason, probably again through user error, but I'm not 100% sure what I did differently. I didn't get the audio. But in the last session that might be lost to time, I basically got through Area 4-1, and I think the boss is called the Penetrator. It's this big fat guy it's got a sword sticking out of his side that you can hit for a weak spot because he's being controlled by like this parasitic like gold raven ghost or something on his head. So if you can hit that, it sort of staggers him. He tips over and exposes the bird to melee damage, or you can get above it and hit it with magic. I don't like to do that because it's got this tongue that sort of can lash out and hit you at higher levels. And then we got to 4-2, and then I mentioned like this is a good farming spot, but I'm pretty bad at it. This one might actually go pretty well. So if you can you run in and you kill that guy as fast as possible, everything in the room dies. I sort of messed around a little bit here. You can see you get 4,500 souls just for it. So in that blink of an eye, you can get a lot of souls. I met Patches back here, and he kicks you into a trap. Now there's a way to. This is something I haven't figured. There was a guy down here who maybe is back at the Nexus now. I don't know. He was an Umbasa. He seemed like he might be like a faith build kind of guy. I thought there was a way to drop down from the top because I don't think there's a way to. My fear is that. Oh, okay. If soul tendency is white. Okay, so maybe you can't just go up there and get whatever's up there. So, I sort of explored this a little bit, but what really made it just the worst session in the world is I basically spent the entire time on the next stretch. And I sort of talked about how, as much as I initially spent, 11 hours on, World 1-1, that was sort of my, get good sort of come to understand the Soul series. But this next stretch sort of highlights for me why it's a little tough for me to come back, because Elden Ring sort of solves what this area causes headaches with. It's basically like an extremely punishing gauntlet that I don't know how you get around it. I mean, I have tricks, but it's just a tedious time sink. It can be a resource sink too. This guy here, if you remember, there was a guy locked in a cell in the first area. That's him. He's moved over here as a merchant. So again, I think what I sort of learned was that if you want to sort of try and land on this guy a little bit, because otherwise he just nukes you. And so there's 4,500 souls down. So again, like, all this is really a pretty tedious run, and my fear is that we're in for it again this time. Something you can do here if you want, you can switch to a bow, and this is what most people do when they actually farm here. You get a bow. I wish I had like a lava bow, and you just hit them. See, the problem is I'm too slow. because I'm probably about to get hit. Okay, so that's the actual way to farm here. You hit him as fast as possible with a bow, and then just head back to the stone, rinse and repeat. And you can just do that over and over and over until you get basically as many souls as you like. The other nice thing about farming here is if you need it, he always drops a moonshade stone shard. He always drops it every single time. Anyway, so what this is it's sort of like this sort of very tedious, punishing, because it's not just dealing with this. Now, the nice thing is these guys have trouble with the altitude, the change in height. So that can help you with this, but you still got to sort of wiggle around a little bit because those flying things in the background will shoot spears at you, as you can see right there. And so it ends up just being a sink of time and healing resources that are just like, okay. You can't really speed run past the first guy because he comes rolling up the path and blocks your way. You could probably speed run past the rest. See, it's just... I think, and I was saying in the last one, I think you can... Actually, it's just like, okay. I think you can... shoot those things out of the air, but that's also tedious. Just basically the whole thing is tedious. So now I've just blown basically all of my healing things. So I'm going to take that 6,500 souls. I'm going to go buy more. I think he's got full moon grass. Another thing I touched on with all of this was that I appreciated my experience with this moment here. I don't think there was anything. See, I hit the wrong button.
Oh, hello. I'm here to play.
It makes me appreciate like why speedrunning probably gets a lot of views on Souls, but I don't know why anybody would watch a normal playthrough like this that I'm doing. Because the reality is that what you're actually going to watch, especially with somebody, with a speed run, somebody basically executes flawlessly. So you're not watching someone beat their head against a section of a map, right? You're watching someone constantly make progress, and how they make progress is sort of the art of it. But in this case, in the last thing I did that might be lost if I can't find the audio, is that there's no... there was basically no progress. So I beat the penetrator, and then I just came to a dead stop for an hour, which is a normal Souls experience, but that's not a normal viewing experience, right? So then there's two more things here. They're even tougher. And again, you can do the same thing. You can sort of lead them all the way. Oh, they're both coming. Great. You can lead them all the way up. And again, they can't... let's see. It's not arbitrary because I could have watched it, but I'm busy watching these guys. Now, you got to be careful with these guys because their weapons, when they do that, have a longer reach than you think. And I just whiffed. Again. And you can just get bad luck, like if you just happen to get hit like that just as you're trying to do something else, it'll blow your stamina, or it'll take hit points off, or stagger you, or interrupt your swing. See, like right there, if I get hit by something, I'm dead. So it just ends up becoming this incredibly tedious process. And if you die, as I might there if I get a bad break. There's no real quick way that I know of to go about getting past it. See, it's just, I don't want to call it arbitrary. It's not entirely arbitrary, but it's just, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to try and run by. He's probably going to follow me. I'm trying to get in here. So even once you're in here, you know, it's very tricky. So that, you know, it's very easy to die in this next phase. Okay, so there's the first one. There's going to be one more we have to deal with. And again, these are just like the spirits in that first section where you have to find like the Reaper that spawns them. And if you can find the Reaper that spawns them, the other thing I was talking about in the last session, I've been having some trouble with, I thought I just bought a bunch of, so the guy's right here. The problem is that I've been having some trouble with the overhand slash. There it worked. In the past, now you're going to get a bunch of souls because it kills everybody. But in the past, the lock-on, even though I would lock on, it still tended to miss. So I wasn't quite sure what was going on with that. So now again, if you go over there, you're going to get ambushed, I think. So I just skip it. You get to another little passage along the side of the hill. I keep my shield up because, again, maybe it helps. Maybe it doesn't if I get hit by more spirits. And now you're just going to run into the same thing where you got to find... I don't know if I can get by this guy. All right. But the trick with this is you got to sort of keep moving. Because there he is. Crap. And there you go. I'm dead. And because I'm dead, because for some reason I didn't roll back, we got to do the whole thing over. So, here you go. And basically this is what I spent the hour doing. Now, why did it not... Oh, because maybe I ran out? Basically, I want to put this item here. Select. Okay, I must be doing something wrong. I don't want to use it. I want to put it in a slot. Oh, I guess if you don't do it from this, it doesn't... Okay. So now the first stage, you know, you can skip. You can just sort of drop and turn around and go. Fall damage in this, I think I've talked about, is not as bad as other Souls games. And you might be able to speed run past all of them except for that first, which, you know, because again, he jams up the... So I might just try it because I find this boring. Unless the guy's... Nope, he's already on the... Let's see if I can get by him. See if I can get by everybody. Nope. Okay. One of the things I was going into in the last session also is that I feel like I know the Claymore does more damage than the Bastard Sword, but the timing that I remember with weapons and everything feels off. Okay. So in theory, that's it for that. So I think the problem is that I've dumped resources into the Claymore that make it my most powerful weapon, but I'm not quite feeling it. And the other trick is that the other go-to weapon I had was the falchion, the magic falchion. I don't know if the skeletons are that impacted by magic. So maybe you got to deal with the skeletons in this first wave, and then once you deal with them, maybe then it's possible to. But the not subtle subtext of the last session was that I was not having a great time. And it's a shame because there's a lot of good stuff here, but it's, again, it's their first time. Oh, shit. It's their first time, so obviously they're not going to get it perfect. Another interesting thing I mentioned in the last one is that it's the haptic feedback on the PlayStation 5 triggers is an interesting feeling when you're using the bows in this game. Like there really is, I realized the first time, like I didn't quite pull it back all the way, like the trigger offered resistance. I wonder what this says. Oh, okay. Offered resistance in sort of an interesting way. Okay. Is this smart? No. But I don't care because I'm tired of dealing with him. Now the question is I thought there was a quicker way to get to that guy you need to kill. Like, I thought there was a way to drop down and just go after him. There again, I missed, and I might be... So, this is what, this is what the hour of the last feed was. Okay. Now you get the money. The nice thing, and then again, you can just go back up if you wanted and reboot. What I'm going to do is I'm going to talk to him because I need some more healing.
I'm here to play. Okay.
Okay. Curious how much I see some things on YouTube where, like, I've seen some videos without commentary, and then I see some videos, like, does it matter if people have the camera going, don't have the camera going? I have the camera going here because that's how we do it on, the Black Lodge Trivia Night actual plays and stuff. Can't tell if it actually matters. Whoa. That was a clever gentleman right there. All right. That happened once before. Okay. Okay, here we go. But I thought I just bought... Okay. Okay. Nope. Oh well. I mean, part of this now, the problem is that I'm just trying to sort of speed run it because I'm frustrated. But why? So, I mean, on some level, this is my own doing. I mean, frustrated is a strong word. It's just you do need, there can be a zen for me in these games, and sometimes it's not. And that's one of the reasons why like sort of the zen helps, because sometimes you're going to have runs like this where you're doing it for 4 hours for no reason. You have to make sure you get in pretty far, because even if you go like around the lip of the... Okay. The lip of the wall, some of those things can still... Did somebody just fall off? I think the guy fell off. So that helps. So again, I just hit the swing button there and it didn't respond. So it's kind of a weird... Sometimes I try and roll and it doesn't roll. So I'm not quite sure if I'm just misunderstanding. Like the animation timings, because I'm used to Elden Ring and this is a little sort of mushier in a sense. That's a good tip, because you're trying to... No, in theory, yeah, that's that. Yeah, can you... I thought you could drop down somehow. Feels like you should be able to drop down as you get lower, but I genuinely believe that it just kills you, right? I think. The downside to doing it with a camera is that I can't... It's harder to cut around it if I need to, like, check a message or... So now I gotta be careful because the guy's gonna come behind me. Not that it matters. So this weapon, the Claymore, is particularly bad in this exact hallway. I can't do sweeping swings, and I can't do overhead attacks, which are basically the two things this sword does. I thought the Claymore had a long-range thrust. I think it does in Dark Souls 1. So I'm sort of in a jam here. Whoops, now I'm in trouble. There we go. Again, let me get some health.
Oh, hello. I'm here to please. What can I get you? All done.
I gotta say, having a mute button is a godsend. Not having a mute button on a mic, I feel like is, or in your setup, such a, whoops, yeah, I should have muted that throat clear, is such a, helps make these videos go so much faster. You know, you don't have to go through the audio and like the way some people cut out the uhs and the ums. You don't have to cut out the burps and the doorbells and the coughs. Okay, fantastic. Okay, I think he rolls out. That, I mean, that's very neighborly of him. Saved me a little time. I mean, the reality is eventually what happens is you just get the sort of the muscle memory down, right? You sort of just suddenly it's not that big a deal to get past those two guys. This next section gets simpler. You sort of learn the tricks, like he's going to shoot a laser beam, so let the column block it. Nope, that's bad. So you can see everything that I learned, right? But yeah, I mean, but that's what these games are. And then eventually you do one run. Perfectly is a strong word, but you do one run good enough. And that's a lot of what these older Souls games are. Oops. And, you know, like I said, that's part of the genius of Elden Ring. It doesn't have that feel. All right, so far I've been doing this for half an hour. Now, a smarter man would probably just say, you know what, there's other worlds I can do. Why don't I just go do that? And I think the reason why is because I kind of just want to... I just have this thing in my head where if I can just get a world done, get the world done. Like I did World 2 and... World 4... I don't think World 4 is too tough once you get once you get past this. Like I don't think the next two bosses or one boss or whatever it is. See, I thought this. I'm hoping I can get this guy to roll off for me. Okay, there he goes. He fell. what else could I do? I've done 2. I could do 1, 3. I could do... So here's the other problem, is that like the 2 worlds I have left are World 3 and World 5. World 3 can be great at times. It has a really tedious boss. World 5 is just a drag. Doesn't have to be necessarily too hard, but it can be a drag. You're starting to get like a little bit of a pattern here, right? It's hard to... Sorry, I just had a little bit of a text that I had to... some of my family's out of town, so I'm sort of coordinating with the people that are out of town, saying goodnight, talking about plans for the next couple of days, etc., etc. One of the reasons why I'm jumping on this is because I have a sort of a free evening. Makes it a little easier to get on here with the camera. Okay, I think he's down. One interesting difference between this and everything feels slower in this game, and nope. Oh man. So I'm running out of health things again. You know, like that's just how much time I'm spending on this stupid run. What I'll do is maybe I'll put it like a warning in the like in the little blurb, like, hey guys, just so you know, this is what this run is. And oops, I need to go back because I need to buy health things. And the reason why I'm leaving this up as a thing that can be viewed if you want is because if you're new to the series, this is what this game can be. So now what I can do, you know, if I were doing this as a grind for souls, soul farming, is you just run up here. Yeah, everything's kind of mushy compared to Elden Ring. You touch the archstone, you come right back. And you just do it again. Over and over and over for whatever you need to get. One other thing I did in the session that might be lost, you know, you can see I'm using a bow. Magic just doesn't have, at least the spells I have don't have the range. So I have a bow with feather arrows, so they do a little less damage. I probably don't need the extra range in this case, but just to be safe, that's what I did.
Oh, hello.
So there we go. So now I've got like 11 of those things, so when I die in 2 minutes, maybe I won't have spent too many of them and I can start getting a bit of a surplus. So yeah, so some families out of town, some families just So what's the other thing? What I actually should be doing is I should be prepping my John le Carré game that I'm going to be running first for Black Lodge. Patrick's got a. I'll be taking. Right now, Patrick's running Call of Cthulhu Modern. Matt, we just did a session 0. Oh, nice. Session 0 of Pathfinder 2e, which I'm very excited about both of them. I've never really played, never really gotten into Pathfinder. I've done like the card game. But I have a feeling that the Pathfinder game is probably going to go longer than Call of Cthulhu. So I have a feeling I'll probably be taking over that slot when Patrick's done. So I need to start prepping because it's a homebrew. Did I get hit with that? I did. It's a homebrew, so that means there's prepping on a couple of different levels. One, there's the adventure itself. Can I get by? Luckily, yeah, you just got to hit him once and then he falls. But they're still coming, so that's that's unfortunate. I wonder how far they'll follow you. All right, so we know where this guy is, and the problem is that I have a terrible weapon for this situation, and I don't know if I have any way to counteract that. This one's not so bad. And maybe, let me try slow and steady. Oops. The problem is there's probably a guy forming behind me. Yep. So I think the thing I'm going to fight might be right above me. Is going to drop down. Now the trick to it is that I think he's blind, which is sort of interesting. So he uses sound cues to track you down. And like a lot of bosses, he's not in the grand scheme of Souls. He's going to kill me probably and just beat the crap out of me, but he's not like the hardest boss in the world to fight. They get so much quicker, two-stage kind of stuff. All this stuff really starts to come into being with like Bloodborne, Dark Souls 3. Can I... So I don't have my, So I think if you run, he's more likely to hear you. Can't see what I'm doing. I wonder if I can have my wand and fast roll. Let me put that on. So I'm wearing a ring that really increases my carrying capacity. I'm sure I could headshot him for more damage, but by aiming a little low like that, it's able to let me not have to adjust my aim quite so much, so I can pepper off the shots faster. Again, running out of healing, so... In fact, I might... It's stupid, but I might need to... Let me make another run. Get another 5. Yeah, this is the room with the penetrator. I guess it's good I came back here because I forgot to... So one thing I could do here, you know, the thing I talk about a lot in Elden Ring is, you know, overlevel, overlevel, overlevel. Here's my opportunity to overlevel if I really wanted to. What makes overleveling in Elden Ring more fun is that I'm just playing the game. Here, I'm grinding. And one thing I'm really against is grinding. I'm not a fan of it in any game. In any game, I should say. Elden Ring, I just go somewhere else and do other things. And
Oh, hello.
okay. 12, that's not bad. So again, like last time I was able to make the run. It's no guarantee I can do it this time. How long have I been going? An hour? Almost. Okay. Okay. Nope, don't roll off the edge. Now, one thing I can't tell, in the original Demon Souls, you could only... You could only roll in, like, 4 directions. Well, I guess if that's the boss, then that answers the question. They're never going to let you drop down into that section of the room because they don't want you to be able to shortcut it. So maybe there's a speed running trick, but for us normals. Yeah, it's crazy. They're just... I think it's by design, you know, or that's... Nope, it's going to go badly. Yeah, this is going like shit. I don't know if that's random number generation, like where he just does that attack over and over and over, or is it just because I didn't close the gap? But if I do, then you're opening her up to the ambush to the left, which is another cheap whatever. So you can see, like, you know, the magic instant win button does the goggles say do nothing. Now maybe it would do something against this thing, but it doesn't do anything against...
I'll forgive you this time, but don't do it again.
Now he says, I'll forgive you this time. I don't know what he's talking about. I don't know what...
All done.
Makes me wonder, like, this is a big shield. I don't know if I have any other shields at the moment, to be honest with you. I can't remember if I had another shield that blocked 100 damage. Wonder if... So, there's like sticky white... I forget what they call it in this. In the original game, it was called sticky white stuff. I think they changed that because, of course, sticky white slime is maybe less... For the juvenilely inclined, a little less giggly. But... I wonder if that would do anything against the boss if I can get to him again. That's one. Need him to roll. Very nice. It's two. Yeah, the trick is if I can just not have to blow so many grasses before I die, I can maybe get ahead of it a little. I'm almost tempted, but I just don't want to keep doing this. I mean, I'm going to keep doing this anyway, but I don't want to do it for whatever comes up from there. I'd rather take shots at the, I'd rather come at the king and actually miss. I need you to come and do literally any other attack. There you go. Now again, there's probably one forming right behind me as we speak. I don't know why that didn't kill it. Oh, goodness.
I've nothing to sell to the likes of you. Oh, hello. I'm here to please. What can I get? Well done.
It's very wet.
Be sure I'm not kidding.
Oop. Oops, this is going to go badly. Okay. The shield does block those spears from the flying things, at least. If you can get a... if you can get in front of it. Now, one thing I can do, and I'm not doing well, is I think you can roll through. Jesus. Gotta stay on target there. See, okay, so I'm holding the sprint button. It wasn't sprinting, so there's something about the animations here I don't get. Didn't realize I was so close to dying, so that was lucky, I guess. So one question I have, I wonder if I need to be quite as conservative as I was last time on that second ghost. Like, maybe I can rush a little closer without triggering. So why did that? I was going to say, why did that not hit? It did hit. That not killing him is the problem. I think there's probably one right behind me. Okay. Now, the good thing about this, I think I was saying this in the Elden Ring thing, it's rare that I was fighting the Black Knife Tish, which I think it was another session that got lost. And you know, when it's a truly like, oh my God, I can't believe I just did it kind of moment, you sort of get the shakes, you know, because it's so much adrenaline. Let's see if this does anything. It's hard to say. It's like an extra 20 points of damage, so maybe not. I don't think you can stun enemies in this game. So when he does this, I gotta get back. But otherwise... that's not good. Nope, that's not good either, because I'm right underneath it. All right, so this has been an hour. I'm going to call it. Usually I go like an hour 40, hour half, but you know, but I'm going to call this, and you're going to see, like, you know, as much as I'm like, hey, you should check out these games, this is what they're like, and then I blow through a bunch of it without, because I've done it before. This is the actual, the real Dark Souls starts here. So you can see, you know what, maybe what I just witnessed is not for me, and I can move on, and or I can not covet a PlayStation 5 because I don't care about the Demon's Souls remake, and there's really not much else at the moment that is exclusive. So that aside, I hope if there's anything entertaining here, I hope you enjoyed it. Otherwise, you know, check out Black Lodge Trivia Night. You know, the real meat of this is the actual plays of RPGs. Like I said, we've got Call of Cthulhu Modern going on. Patrick's running that. Matt, we just did a session 0. It's not up yet for Pathfinder 2e when Call of Cthulhu Modern wraps up, whenever it does, I think that'll be the first one. I'll be jumping to a homebrew John Le Carré using a mashup of Mithras as the core system, a little bit of Delta Green, a little bit of Fall of Delta Green, and a little bit of, my games are over here. That's what I'm looking at, and Knights Black Agents. So anyway, thanks again. Do the YouTube stuff, like, subscribe. If you want to listen to the podcast or some kind of audio version of the Let's Plays, just search Black Lodge Trivia Night wherever you get podcasts, and it should come up. So thanks again, and take care.